Phoenix. For more information, visit wildwesttown.com.
It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, good evening once again, and welcome to the Playmaker Spotlight, the part of the Get Down to Business radio show where we speak to CEOs and COOs and business owners of all sorts, where they share their stories and best practices with you, our audience. I am your host, Dick Smith, the CEO's business coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. And tonight I'm very pleased to have as our guest Chuck Benain. He's the COO of United RX, headquartered in Hillside, Illinois. And from their website and my conversations with Chuck, it says they're big enough to offer high-quality services without losing the personal touch of a hometown pharmacy. United RX is a full-service, independent, long-term care pharmacy providing services to nearly 100 facilities that include skilled nursing facilities, assisted living communities, youth homes, intermediate care, and developmental disabled facilities and hospice. So again, tonight, thank you for joining us, Chuck Benain, CEO of United RX.
Thank you, Dick.
Say, could you give me a brief history, the CNN version, if you will, of your story at United RX?
You know, it's an interesting story. It's a merger between two corporations, and it came out of necessity for my partners who their previous partner had gone bankrupt, and they were not operators. And we happened to be in Las Vegas together.
Oh.
And they
attending a conference or something?
Yes, attending a conference. And they looked at me and they said, hey, we need an operator.
Wow. Look at that.
So we merged the two companies, and that's kind of how we, United Scripps and ChemRx combined into United RX.
See, that you just defined what luck meant. I say, have you been lucky in your life? Well, that's when an opportunity meets a guy prepared like you were to take advantage. So good for you.
Yes.
So tell me about the geographic area you serve. How many employees and offices do you have? We talked a little bit about that.
Sure. We've got 3 offices. Our main office, our hub, is in Hillside, Illinois, and then we have a location in Carbondale, Illinois, and Bonne Terre, Missouri. We service all of Indiana, all of Illinois, and all of Missouri. We're branching into Michigan and Ohio soon.
So, what about Wisconsin at some point?
Wisconsin, we don't really have a customer base in Wisconsin, but we're open. We can service through our model. We can service the whole Midwest fairly easy.
Good for you. So when did you become COO? You mentioned the Vegas trip, and explain your role with the company.
Well, I'm a partner in the business as well, and I'm the one I'm a registered pharmacist, so I have the knowledge. My partners don't really have.
They're not pharmacists.
They're not pharmacists, so they don't have the knowledge base to run or operate a pharmacy. So naturally, they said, you be the chief operating officer.
So we mentioned some of the facilities that you serve. So what does your best profile customer look like? Who do you best serve? I mean,
well, the majority of our customers are skilled nursing facilities, nursing homes. We service, that's probably 80% of our business. But we also service the developmentally disabled. We service mentally ill. We service we have a facility that's just for deaf people. So it's specialized care for people who are in institutions. It's not really we're a closed-door pharmacy, so we don't really service the general public.
Gotcha. So, everybody has competitors. I'm sure United RX has those competitors. How do you differentiate your services from the companies you compete with?
Well, when I first got into this business, there weren't too many competitors. There were probably 3 or 4 main competitors in the Chicago area. Now there's 10 or 12 competitors.
Is that because of the ACA, Affordable Care Act, and/or Obamacare?
Not really. I think it was more Medicare Part D is really what spurred the growth. And there's a lot of consolidation, and just about everybody thinks they can do this. So it's one of those things where if you're a pharmacist and you're not making it in one, sector of the business, then go into another where you think you can do it. And people took our model and looked at it. There were people that I emulated and looked at to put my model together, and the people below me are doing the same thing. So,
Gotcha. So, How does pricing affect your business strategy? Is it a lot of competitive price?
It's extremely competitive in pricing, and that's one of the ways that we've become innovative in our pricing structure. There's companies that are using my old pricing structure, employees who've left and gone to other competitors, and they're using my pricing structure. And so you have to be innovative and create your own. And that's really, there's two things, customer service and pricing. Those are the main things. Anybody can provide an aspirin to these patients.
Right.
It's how you deliver it, it's customer service, and it's the price that you charge.
Yeah, and how important is that customer service piece of it, getting the right prescription delivered to the right patient at the right timing? All that stuff is...
Well, for the people who are working in the facility, it's extremely important.
Yeah.
For the owner, he's concerned about price because that's bottom line.
Sure. Well, and there's insurance issues and all that. We don't need to get into all the ramifications of the owner's liability.
It's a huge issue.
So, hey, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight with your host, Dick Smith. And we're talking to Chuck Benain, COO of United RX, headquartered again in Hillside. I almost said Hinsdale again. I'm sorry. So what are the unique experience areas or special services that you provide that your competitors don't? We talked a little bit about the competition. Well,
some of the things that we try to do, our logistics, we try to be unique in the way that we service the customer. We provide, 2-3 deliveries a day. Some of our deliveries that we service, we expedite through air cargo, where a lot of our customers don't do. We also provide technology that our current competitors don't provide, such as Pyxis or med dispense units that we put into the facilities.
Oh, right there in the facility.
Right there in the facility, so that the nurses have immediate access to the medications that they need.
So tell me about the people you employ and their work ethic and whatever. How important are those people? And tell me a bit about your culture as a consequence.
Well, when you ask about culture, I usually explain it this way. We are not IBM. We're more Apple. We have a laid-back atmosphere, and I think our employees would tell you that they enjoy coming to work because it's not, bow ties and, you don't have to, it's not strict. Just today, I walked in and they had a Hawaiian theme party going on, and it was just, it's a lot of fun at work.
Good for you. Good for you. So does that help in recruiting the right people and building a great team, your culture? Do you use that as an advantage?
Well, recruiting that's probably the most difficult part of owning a business is getting the right people. Yeah. And so we vet out people, just trying to find somebody who fits in, who cares about our customers. And that's the main thing. I just want people to know that they have to care for my customer. Treat them like they're your mother in that nursing home.
Wow. Okay. So your strong value proposition is you want a mission of service type employee that is really into that mission of the business.
Yes.
And that's worked for you very well.
Yes.
Good for you. So what part of changed in the industry? So you're basically in the healthcare industry to some extent. Yeah. Maybe pharmaceuticals aren't quite as problematic as some of your other healthcare issues. Perhaps I don't want to make any assumptions. But what part does change play in your business environment? Are you constantly changing as a result of regs?
Yes. I mean, our margins are continually shrinking, just like any other business. And so we have to look. It's not how you sell it, it's how you buy it. That's how we just continually try to find ways to reduce our costs of doing business so that we can survive.
And you're heavily regulated, obviously, your industry, right?
Extremely regulated, yes.
So what's your vision for the company 3 to 5 years from now, Chuck?
Well, we are continually trying to grow, and we're looking at mergers and acquisitions. We're looking at marketing to other states. So the only way for us to continue to increase our profits is to grow the business and grow our revenues. And we've got a good core right now, so we're pretty much at critical mass with our abilities to service customers. And so the more we grow, the more to the bottom line it goes.
Got it. So both organic growth, are you guys looking at any acquisitions? I mean, I don't want to get into confidential information, but both organic and growth through acquisitions?
Yes.
Good for you. Well, I'm afraid we're just about out of time. Boy, that flies, doesn't it? But I want to thank our guest, Chuck Benain, the COO of United RX in Hillside, with offices around the Midwest here. Thanks, Chuck, for being with it. And how do people get in touch with you if they want more information?
UnitedRx.net.
Okay, UnitedRx.net, not .com. So UnitedRx. Well, thanks again, Chuck, and I'd like to thank our listeners for joining us once again. This has been the Playmaker segment of the Get Down to Business radio show. I'm Dick Smith, your host, the CEO business coach, and award-winning chair for Vistage International. You can find me on LinkedIn or contact me at dick.smith@vistage.com. And now, stay tuned for more Shalom, Klein, and his Get Down to Business.
It's become a